this Monday morning, June 23rd. Thanks for joining us on ARC Rochester. I'm Abi Fridmann.
And I'm Stephannie Joseph. We have a full 2 hours to get through, so let's just run down what we've got brewing for you.
The Rochester International Jazz Festival is in full swing. This morning, we're featuring two performers who are getting ready to take the stage this week, including a Rochester Music Hall of Fame inductee and a world-class jazz pianist.
Then we're talking nutrition this Monday morning with the help of our friend, tall trainer Jeremy Biernat. This morning, he's going to be walking us through what he calls the pizza diet.
I have no problem with that. It already sounds great.
Right?
I have a feeling it's not what we think it is, though.
Oh.
It'd be cool if it was just pizza all the time. And then coming up later, Tanvi Arkaputi will be joining us to discuss the importance of listening, connecting, and supporting teens struggling with their mental health.
But before all of that, we do want to get a check of some of our top headlines in our Monday morning news break.
This morning, a Rochester police officer is recovering after he was injured in the line of duty, while the suspect accused of shooting at police is fighting for his life in the hospital. Investigators say the suspect was also a person of interest in relation to a fatal shooting Sunday morning on Oscar Street. Police say the suspect was spotted later in the day and took off before firing at an officer, narrowly missing him. Officers returned fire, hitting the unnamed suspect multiple times. The victim of the homicide on Oscar Street identified as 30-year-old David Vasquez.
In the aftermath of U.S. strikes on Iran nuclear facilities, Iran's parliament advancing plans to close the Strait of Hormuz, which is expected to cause oil prices to spike. Nearly a fifth of the world's oil supply passes through that strait. Meantime, President Trump has posted about regime change in Iran. Congress is split over the attacks. We will have much more throughout the day on 13 Wham!
Governor Kathy Hochul declaring a state of emergency for more than 30 counties following severe thunderstorms and extreme heat. In Oneida County, emergency crews are assessing and responding to damages left behind, while in the town of Kirkland, 3 people, including twin 6-year-old girls, were killed after trees fell on their homes. Governor Hochul releasing a statement saying in part, quote, "I urge all New Yorkers to stay weather aware and take precautions to stay vigilant and safe as extreme heat and severe weather are expected to continue impacting the state over the next couple of days."
Many schools have different hours today and tomorrow to combat the extreme heat. Those include the RCSD, Webster, Pittsford, Fairport, Brockport, and Wayne Central. We do have a full list of districts along with specific details on our website, 13wham.com.
And with temperatures expected to reach near record highs, a cool sweep is in effect for the Flower City. Spray Parks and Durand Eastman Beach will all be open, offering a place for people to beat the heat. However, our centers and pools will be closed this week for staff training.
For all these top stories and any updates, be sure to visit 13wham.com.
8:03, we're going to switch gears now and talk about the forecast. It's hot out there today. It is humid out there and in here in the studio as well. Meteorologist Mark McLean over there fanning himself right now.
Can you feel it?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can feel it, Mark.
Yeah. Having a bad hair day if you can't tell.
We can tell.
Yeah.
Actually, with the humidity, it's a little shiny, though. Let's talk about that heat advisory, right? We've got that in effect not only today, but also for tomorrow. It's a heat index that could be between 100 and 105. So when you get to that number right there, that's a point where you really have to slow things down. You have to remember to stay well hydrated. Check on your pets, too, as you head out the door. Make sure that they've got plenty of water to get through this hot afternoon that's on the way. Likely the hottest so far of 2025. Already 82 in Ontario, 82 in Clifton Springs. And South Bristol never got out of the 80s during the overnight last night, kept that low temperature propped up. But 90 degrees at lunch, low 90s this afternoon. The record for today, by the way, is 95 degrees. That was set back in 1888. Now, the forecast overnight, that Florida air continues, mid-70s, so crank up the air conditioning. And, of course, we're going to be talking about the extended forecast, a little bit of a visit back to Hurricane Agnes also in the forecast coming up. And we're going to have weather trivia in about 20 minutes or so.
Lots to look forward to. All right, Mark, thank you.
Yep.
Let's Go off the top now and start with topics that have piqued our interest today. I will start things off. It's not necessarily a fun story, but certainly an important one. Today marks the anniversary of a crucial law in American history. We're talking all about Title IX. Title IX signed into law June 23rd, 1972, and has transformed the image of education, athletics, and equality in the United States. So back in 72, at this time, gender discrimination in schools wasn't just common, but it was actually institutionalized. Girls were routinely blocked from certain classes and sports, excluded from advanced science and math, and often denied admission to colleges entirely, simply for being female. That law was authored by a congresswoman from Hawaii and a senator from Indiana. They faced significant pushback from politicians, school administrators, educators, and even the NCAA. The National Collegiate Athletic Association ferociously lobbied against Title IX. Representatives said it would force them to share funding with women's athletics. They were concerned that the passage of Title IX would actually, quote, destroy men's athletic programs. They, along with other critics, argued women weren't interested in sports and that schools simply couldn't afford this kind of equality. Clearly, that didn't end up being the case at all. Before the passage of Title IX in the United States, just under 300,000 girls played high school sports. That's across the whole U.S. Today, over 3.5 million play sports. When it comes to the classroom, a similar story. Did you know women actually make up the majority of college students in the United States, with even more enrolling in STEM programs, that's science, technology, engineering, and math? They're doing so more now than ever before. So clearly there have been great strides made on this avenue. But we're also going to talk for just a second about the safety component with Title IX. It is used to protect everyone from sexual harassment and assaults in educational settings. It forces institutions to provide policies and protections, and most of all, take reports seriously for all students, regardless of gender, sexual preference, or gender identity. Here we are, 50 years later. The impact of Title IX still felt around the United States. It gave everyone a shot at fair, safe, and equal education. A big shout out today to all those who made it happen.
It really is amazing because you think about this is something that is still ongoing in terms of, women kind of getting the respect that they deserve in sports and even other settings. For example, I'm thinking about how far when we're talking about women's basketball at the professional level, that has become something at the forefront that people have been talking about now with Caitlin Clark, becoming such a big figure in driving forward that viewership.
It's exciting to see women's sports kind of pick up and the excitement that surrounds it. You're absolutely right with Caitlin Clark. She's incredible to watch. And, just off the top of my head, women's Syracuse basketball, when we were there, it really started to take off. And those games were so fun to go to, so fun to watch. And, you just love to see such competitiveness from remarkable athletes who've been given the opportunity to pursue this because of Title IX. And then also, just to talk a little bit about some of the protections in place as well. Yes, it did level the playing field and it did give everybody a fair opportunity, but it also provides protection for everybody. You hear some stories about, your grandparents when they were in school and you kind of raise your eyebrow and you're like, was that allowed? Did that actually happen? Not the case anymore. And real quick, I'm bouncing all over the place here, but whatever. When it comes to sports, one of my very good friends who I worked with in Buffalo, her grandmother was actually right at the very front fighting for women to have their role in sports with the Collegiate Association.
That is amazing.
Yeah, so just really cool to have that perspective as well. And, it's just interesting day.
And it's in relatively recent history, I would say.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So
50 years, 53
exactly.
years.
It's amazing. You would think nowadays it kind of seems like a given or a common that, we have women's basketball, men's basketball, and other sports, but it wasn't that way for a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we'll turn now to my topic for today. It might come as a surprise, but the crash dummies used in vehicle tests are only modeled after men.
Ooh, we've got like a girl theme going on.
I know, right?
Girl power,
yes.
All right.
So this is all despite most licensed drivers being women and the risk of being more likely to be injured in a frontal crash for women as well. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has been conducting these tests since the 1970s, and the model used is referred to as Hybrid 3. It's a 5'9" and 171-pound man. Now that weight is actually 29 pounds lighter than the current average, but that's besides the point. The female model that exists is actually a smaller version of the man with a vest to represent the female chest. Those crash dummies are usually used in the back seat or passenger seat, but they're rarely used in the driver's seat. Keep in mind what I said about most licensed drivers being women. So activists and lawmakers, they're trying to address the disparities in crash models on a federal level. Nonprofit Drive Us Forward is working to get Congress to sign a bill that would require the Highway Traffic Safety Administration to use an advanced female dummy in testing. A Nebraska senator authored legislation called the She Drives Act. Now, there is a company as well, Humanetics Group, that makes an updated version of the crash dummies for women. The CEO says his company's model is more anatomically correct, so that's down to the collarbone and the legs. Those body parts, along with the neck and the pelvis, they're the most common places that women are injured in vehicle crashes. And according to the NHTSA, the Humanetics model costs $1 million, which is twice the price of the hybrid models being used. Some American automakers, they've argued that the updated devices may exaggerate injury risk or undervalue some safety features like seat belts or airbags. An industry trade group told the Associated Press that it's better to upgrade the current hybrid model instead of require a new one. That group, the Alliance for Automotive Innovation, believes the upgrades can happen faster than the latter. For now, the process continues to move at a slow pace for those wanting to see risk assessment modified to consider women.
This is wild to me. Crazy, because if you were responsible for doing this crash testing and somebody pointed it out to you like, oh, hey, you don't have women driving the cars ever, wouldn't you be like, oh, we should probably change that?
Yeah.
Toss some women in there, toss them in the mix. Like, let's rearrange, see how the men perform in the passenger seat, see how they do in the back seat. See, like, that's just, it's crazy to me. And it's crazy to me that now they're saying we have to have a law that establishes this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. If you were responsible for doing this, literally, like, trying to save lives here, wouldn't you, I feel like it's common sense to rearrange everybody. Gender or, whatever taken into consideration, you think about, like, all of the different factors.
Yeah.
Okay, what about pregnant women?
Yeah.
Right? What about very underweight men? Like, there are a lot of different types of people out there. And I understand, like, averages, like you want average man, average woman, whatever. I don't know. To me, that's just wild.
It is.
The steering wheel, the airbags, the windows, like, there's a lot that goes in.
There is a lot of conversation about this among those like automakers, auto community in general. There is money in the budget for the NHTSA, but again, they'd have to get these new models approved. The company that creates them, I think the male model has been approved in Europe, but it's not the same here at home. So there's a whole process with that. And for activists, for lawmakers, this process isn't moving very fast.
I have many questions.
Yeah.
Okay, this is getting me fired up. Jeez. All right, super interesting. Thank you, Steph.
Of course.
All right, much more to get to this morning on ARC Rochester. When we come back, we're checking in with Chris Lopez. He's celebrating a milestone with one local institution.
And hey, take us with you. You can watch us on the go wherever you are by streaming us live on the 13 WHAM YouTube channel and foxrochester.com. We're back after this. 2016, the Rochester healthcare community has a long history of educating healthcare professionals.
Yeah, there's one nonprofit on East Avenue that's celebrating 125 years of continuous medical education. Chris Lopez is live this morning at the Rochester Academy of Medicine. He's showing us all of the amazing things that they do in their beautiful mansion. Chris, you've been giving us a little tour, and one room is nicer than the next.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't go wrong in this mansion at all. 30,000 square feet of pretty much continuous medical education. And then this Sunday, 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock, they are celebrating their 125th year. I'm here with Ryan Johnson, Dr. Valenti this morning. I'm going to start with you. You got Sunday going down, event, pretty big event, 125 years, over 100 years, man. 100 years and then a quarter century. How are you guys celebrating that?
So we're opening up the home to the public, like you said, this Sunday from 1 to 5. We'll have food out for everybody. We're going to do a lot of Rochester medical history. There'll be lawn games out for the kids, classic car show. So it'll be a really nice time for everybody to come out and just enjoy the house.
And Dr. Valenti, I want to go to you. I haven't spoke to you this morning on camera. We were talking a lot about this day and age for really anything, but we're talking medical community, about how there are Zoom meetings, there's Facebook groups, there's really not a lot of face-to-face interaction, but this place really seeks to make sure that that happens, that doctors, anyone really, nurses, are coming here to talk to each other.
It's another kind of educational experience.
Yeah.
Pre-pandemic, before the pandemic, most medical programs were live, and we continue to do that. So there's another option then for people wanting to get health education, and in addition to Zoom calls and other kinds of programs to get continuing education credit. You can do it live with the people who have a common experience in healthcare with you, and it's a much broader experience. This is a different way to learn.
And how important do you think that is for people of similar profession, right? It doesn't matter if you're a nurse, a doctor, a dietitian, to come together and talk. And that could be really a range of anything. It could be educational, or it could be just what you guys are going through.
Well, it's a richer experience. It's much broader because now we're having a face-to-face conversation rather than typing questions and answers into the computer. So it's a very different experience, and I think in the end it makes us better healthcare professionals and is better for patients.
And I want to walk into, we're in what? This is like a concert space in here. You guys said the acoustics are brilliant. Yep. The piano over there is also brilliant as well. This place is, what does this really serve as, though?
So we call this the living room of the Academy, of course. It used to be the library prior to that. So now we hold a lot of concerts and other just social gatherings for healthcare people, and we are open to the public as well if they ever want to rent out the space, use the piano, do different kinds of events in this space. So it's a multifunctional space, but for the Academy, we do a lot of corporate retreats in here. And mainly concerts, though, for the most part.
And then I want to walk over into the dining room area over here. Beautiful view. And then it's another spot for you guys to really continue to kind of mingle with each other as well. You guys are trying to kind of revamp this space up. And so that social gatherings can happen, but really in a very nice space, even though to me, this is really incredible.
Yeah, so what we found in research in this space is this is supposed to be the most beautiful molding between New York City and Chicago of any building in the entire country. So we're really proud of that. And like you said, we do use this a lot for social events. We're going to start hosting what are kind of commonly referred to as liver rounds, where we're going to bring in different healthcare professionals just to come in and get to enjoy the space, open it up to the public a bit more.
And legacy-wise, this place has been around 125 total years. If someone had some type of, any type of transplant or really medical procedure in general, they may have came through here. How important do you think that is for the Rochester community to have this here and keep this here for doctors and everyone to come through and continuously learn? Because medical education has changed, especially over 125 years.
Sure. Medical education has changed, and the way we learn has changed, but the need to learn has not changed. So this is another way to do it, and it adds to the experience, so you can socialize and learn while eating.
What's your favorite part about being a member here?
the camaraderie, bringing people together and just talking and chatting outside the office and getting to know people who are doing this in the same field, doing the same sorts of things, always a good idea. I think it makes me a better doc.
And this is a beautiful spot to have it. 30,000 square feet, I believe. Next up, we're going to finish out. We're going to be outside of the mansion here, talking to you guys, giving you guys a revamp as to what we talked about earlier in the morning about the history of this place, when it was donated, why it was donated, and what goes on here. I'm going to send it back to you guys in studio. We got Uno Mas, one more hit coming up on ARC Rochester.
It's really cool.
It is, yeah. Really interesting stuff, Chris. Thank you.
Hey, stick around. When ARC Rochester returns, it's this morning's weather trivia.
Yeah, Mark McLean will join us after this. Welcome back. Mark is joining us now with a look at the hot, hazy, humid temperatures.
Yeah.
And we also have weather trivia to get to.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. It's hot out there, right? I mean, it was 90 yesterday. Looking at the potential for also some 90-degree heat today. So that's the trivia today. This goes back a ways. What is asking about 90-degree heat in Rochester? Sorry about that. Do you know the all-time record for consecutive 90-degree high temps in Rochester? I was having a flashback to last Friday's trivia.
When you gave the answer?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was like, don't say the answer. Don't say the answer. Okay. Here's the selections: 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, or 9 days.
Okay, I think I know.
I have a guess.
How many straight days could it be 90 in Rochester?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I feel like we've talked about this. Maybe not on air, but
So we talk about how many days on average we get 90.
Yeah.
But not how many straight days. Like,
yeah.
So 3 consecutive days is a heat wave, right?
Yep.
How many consecutive days is the all-time record?
Okay.
Right? This is a good one. This is a good one. It's very timely also. Speaking of timely things, you may remember this one. This was 53 years ago. Check this out.
Oh.
Hurricane Agnes. This is some of our video from that.
Wow.
This was the only time that the Mount Morris Dam, south of Rochester, the water level almost came up to the top of the dam. It was a foot or two away from the top. We talked to the dam manager recently, and it's interesting when you go down there. They have the little museum or the tour that you can take, and you get to go through the dam. But then you get to the photos, and you watch all these photos. It's hard to imagine that much water coming down, but parts of the southern tier had like 15 inches of rain down towards Elmira, and all that flooding, of course, all that rain ended up in the Genesee River, headed back towards Rochester. Had we not had that dam there, we would have had historic flooding in the city. It would have been really bad.
Yeah.
It's scary when you see that video and think about everything that's underneath it.
Yeah.
Right? All of the debris and
Yep.
all the stuff that's, traveling really quickly.
That's why we always say don't ever try to cross a flooded roadway, because it's just going to sweep you off to wherever it's going. You're going to get caught in that torrent. Whatever's in the torrent is going to hit you as you're floating. So it's not a great scenario. But back to the story for today. It's the heat in Western New York. Actually, I forgot I put this in here too. Let's talk about that real quick. This was the biggest natural disaster also at the time. It was over $3 billion in damage until Sandy, I believe, is the biggest now for the U.S. But yeah, our story today is one of heat, one of sunshine, southwest breeze there at 8. And look at the dew point, 73. That number actually got up to 76 yesterday afternoon. So that's like Tampa, Florida kind of stuff. But this is how it's going to feel this afternoon. When you put the relative humidity and temperature together, it's going to feel like it's around 100, 2, 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon. So slow it down. Make sure the pets have water. Make sure you stay well hydrated, and we'll cool this off eventually. But huge ridge of high pressure. This has been the setup here for the last few days. What we're going to wait for is this cold front that's northwest of Rochester. This is going to come through later Tuesday into Wednesday and eventually knock the temperature down just a little bit. Now, the front itself doesn't have a lot of moisture to work with, so as it moves in, there is that small chance that we get a shower, rumble of thunder late Tuesday into Wednesday, but most of us are going to stay dry during that period. Near record heat, the record today is 95, set back in 1888, so it's a golden oldie. We'll see if we get there, and the extended forecast puts us in the 90s again tomorrow. More heat, more humidity, not quite as hot for Wednesday. And you see the expanded forecast, some scattered showers and thunder towards the weekend. Nothing that's a, quote, washout, but, after a few days in a row that stay dry and hot like this, some spots will be looking for rain. West of Rochester into Genesee County, Orleans County, missed out on that deluge that we had middle of last week.
Yeah.
And so they could actually use some rain out that way.
Oh.
Okay, so my tomato plants that I've got, I know we're not really doing garden right now.
Potted, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yep,
okay.
they're like
Yep.
the deck tomatoes or
Yes.
whatever you call
Yep.
them. Okay, so I was overwatering them at first.
Yellow leaves.
Yes.
Yep.
Now I feel like I'm underwatering them.
Could be, and hit it with a fertilizer quick, because usually it's when the leaves yellow like that, you have to get some nutrients down in the soil to kind of bring out the new growth.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Good to know.
Yep.
Should we be bringing them inside? Mine are like, okay.
Are they soaking wet?
No.
Okay.
Not
But like, are
anymore.
you worried about wilting?
Yes.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you can put like a dish or some kind of what's the saucer?
Oh, yeah,
underneath
yeah.
it, fill it up with water. Let the plant, if it is dried out, let the plant fill up from the bottom up. It's a healthier way than top down for the water.
Good to know.
Yep.
All right. Good stuff, Mark.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Don't go anywhere. Much more to get to this morning on ARC Rochester.
We're back after this. 6:31 on this Monday morning. Thanks so much for staying with us here on our Rochester. It's time now to take a look at some of the stories that got people talking this morning in Trending Now.
Yeah, we'll start things out with a new study that's revealing a lot about Gen Zers in the workplace. In a survey from resume.io, Gen Z professionals from across the country were asked about their must-have perks when it comes to a job.
Yeah, nearly 1 in 6 Americans under the age of 28 won't even consider taking a job unless there's a designated napping area at the office.
Are you kidding me?
I'm surprised about that one.
That's ridiculous. Okay. That's ridiculous. That's actually insane.
Yeah.
According to them, a snooze space at work reflects an overall balance between work and home life.
I just have to say, as a part of Gen Z, I've never thought about this.
This is insane.
Yeah.
Sorry, that is crazy behavior.
Yeah. So the survey also found that 1 in 5 Gen Zers say a fun room is essential to their work environment. These spaces include recreational activities, ping pong, games, you name it.
Okay. Others, hold on. We can't even move on. Hold on. Pause the prompter for me, will you? A fun room at work?
Again,
Who has the time? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Who has the time?
Yeah.
Steph.
It might just be the field. But then again, if you're in the medical field, you definitely don't. They have napping spaces, I think, if Grey's Anatomy was right. But
Well, yeah, that, sure. But, you know, they're also working like
24
triple
hours.
shifts.
Yeah.
Quadruple shifts.
My fun room's going in outside right now.
Mark's fun room is the garden. Here's the thing. It's like nobody has the time for it. I don't know about you. A 22-minute break is what we get in between the shows. And what do you want me to do
Yeah.
in 22 minutes?
You have to-
I didn't even finish my lunch today.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. I don't have time to play ping pong. Whatever. Anyway, others say they won't even consider taking a job if the company is not pet friendly.
that one I understand. 33% of Gen Zers also expect free snacks and lunches at the workplace.
Expect? No. It would be nice.
Yeah.
It would be super nice.
Yeah.
If I didn't have to pay $8. Never mind. Sorry. Getting angry. Sorry, but the fruit cups in the vending machine are like $8. And for what?
It's wild. I wish that there was more, like a chewy granola bar that was like a bit healthier
Listen,
on the...
we were asked via survey what we would like to see at the company. And I said, healthy vending machines. Zero support for the healthy vending machines. All I'm saying is I tossed it out there. And reasonably priced fruit cups. It's fine. It's fine. Kim up at the front was very nice, and she bought me some, which was super nice.
Aw.
Shout out to Kim.
We love Kim.
We do, yes.
And a whopping 1 in 3 people in that survey, they said a 4-day work week is non-negotiable.
Okay, younger generations pushing back against the old model of a constant hustle and burnout by valuing flexibility and a more enjoyable day-to-day experience. I think work-life balance is super important. I think that when you're off the clock, you're off the clock. And it shouldn't be an expectation that you have your phone on you at all times. I think it depends person to person. Mine is always on. I'm pretty much always available.
Yeah.
And especially if there's breaking news and things are crazy, there's wild weather, I'm not just going to go off the map here. But a non-negotiable? Sorry. Times are tough.
Yeah, they
Looking
are.
for a job. I feel like
I have negotiables.
you do?
Yes.
What
well, as in that would be something where in this field, you don't even consider it because you could be called in at any time. They tell you, expect to be. So I don't know. It's just.
Health insurance to me is a non-negotiable.
Yes.
That's like the big one.
Yes.
And the rest is
PTO is nice. I like.
Vacation, sick time. Those are things that are legally required. But a nap room, not a chance. No way. Anyway, got me all fired up. Anyways, we'll move on to a trend that is so hot, it's ice cold.
All right, fancy ice seems to be the hottest new trend in New York, especially bars across the Big Apple. They're paying extra to ship in crystal clear ice.
The ice has all different kinds of fruits, herbs, candy, and vegetables frozen into it. It gives customers an elevated drink experience.
According to these ice designers, the fancy ice is unlike your typical crushed or cubed. It's meticulously crafted and designed.
Petite flowers, fruit, and other add-ins are precisely placed, quote unquote, with purpose.
Bars can even order fancy engravings into the ice to personalize them for any occasion.
One New York City company charges $30 for 50 pieces of standard 2-inch cubes or $5 per 2-inch sphere.
I know that everyone is into the aesthetic ice, but Right.
Yeah, Mark said it sounds like a waste of time. Where are our priorities?
Right.
I'm sorry. You know, like, come on. I can't go to a restaurant without having hair in my food. Like, nobody's putting flowers in my ice.
Yeah, especially when it melts.
According to consumers, the drinks look beautiful and they taste the way we intend them to for a significantly larger amount of time.
I definitely don't think it's something that should be ordered. You could make it. We have ice molds, you know, and like, I know that people have a preference. They like the crunchy ice, for example, from Chick-fil-A more than a lot of others, but you can make it at home, or like, this is not something that needs to be done. We ask for light ice in drinks because they usually take up a lot of space that could be used for the drink.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just me.
I just feel like small. Where are our priorities? That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
Wow, I got fired up in today's trending now. It's pretty rare. Usually I'm a little more calm, cool, and collected.
I mean, it's a bit reasonable.
Apparently. All right, much more to come this morning on ARC Rochester when we come back. We'll check in with Chris Lopez again. He's helping a local organization celebrate a very big anniversary. Maybe they have some fancy ice to go along with it.
Yeah,
You never know.
We'll have to see. Don't forget that you can watch us on the go wherever you are by streaming us live on the 13 Wham YouTube channel and foxrochester.com. We're back on the other side of the break.
Wrapping up our community spotlight this morning, a 125th anniversary celebration.
Yeah, the nonprofit Rochester Academy of Medicine prides itself on continuous medical education. So we go live to our Chris Lopez, who's been there for us all morning. Chris, what you got?
Hey guys, yeah, we're back outside. If you've ever been passing through these beautiful mansions on East Ave, you may have come across this and just skipped past it, maybe saw the sign, maybe you didn't even see the sign, but this is the Rochester Academy of Medicine, a beautiful, beautiful mansion, 30,000 square feet. We've been going through it throughout the morning. We thought it'd be great to show you guys what the outside looks like one more time. I'm here with Ryan Johnson and Dr. Chen this morning. Sunday, though, big event. Can you talk about it a little bit?
Sure. It's the 125th anniversary of the Academy of Medicine's founding. So we're going to open the home up to the public. We're going to have a lot of Rochester medical history and food out for everybody, a classic car show, lawn games for the kids. So it should be a really nice day for everybody. And I was going to say also that we are kind of using it as a bit of a fundraising opportunity for that auditorium space that I know you guys saw a little bit ago. So we're kind of hoping to turn that into kind of a state-of-the-art, so to speak, educational center where we can really kind of carry on the mission of the Academy and what we've been trying to do for a long time here.
Yeah, it's beautiful, but Dr. Cavey was talking about kind of revamping it up, adding some electricity ports in there so people can charge their laptops whenever they do long lectures and things like that. I want to go over to you, Dr. Chen. How long have you been a member here?
Since 2014.
2014, and what's your experience been like over the last, a little over 10 years now?
Oh, I think it's been wonderful. We've kind of changed from a physician-only organization to a health community organization, completely interdisciplinary, inviting everyone who has any interest in the health of Rochester to become a part of us.
And I was talking a little bit earlier about this used to only be strictly doctors, only physicians, that was it. Since then, it's been expanded, dietitians, nurses.
Everyone.
How important do you think that is to allow really everyone in the healthcare community in?
Well, it's very important. At the hospitals, we all work in teams now. It's a community group, really, and we work together. And I think that's important, how we carry our mission of promoting the health of Rochester and being part of the education of Rochester, too.
And you guys really like to give seminars on current things that are going on. Can you explain maybe what those seminars look like, roughly?
Yeah, sure. So one of the programs that we've put on recently, we call it Ask the Experts. And it was an idea that, we came up with through a lot of conversations. And the real goal of it was tackling the huge problem of misinformation on whether it's TV, Instagram, the internet, different places. And we wanted to try and invite the public in and have them get a chance to sit down with true experts in the field to kind of get really high quality information on some of these kind of pertinent topics like you're mentioning. Like the first one we did was on after what happened with Damar Hamlin from the Buffalo Bills. So we have a pediatric cardiologist on our board. We actually had one of the physicians from the Bills come into town here and do a lecture because a lot of the parents, I guess, were very concerned asking Dr. Cavey, could this happen to my child? Could what happened to Damar Hamlin happen to my child on the field? And so, and they were reading all these different things about, of course, the vaccine was a hot topic at that time. And is it he's 3% body fat? Could it be this or that? And we wanted to say, this is the true kind of science-backed, information on that subject. So we have taken that kind of ask the experts and run with it. Now we do things on the new weight loss drugs that are out there and all these kind of different pertinent topics for the community for educational purposes.
And you guys are a nonprofit. How can people go about helping you guys out?
Yeah, that's great. So our website is www.raom, as in Rochester Academy of Medicine.org, so they can check that out. We're on Facebook, Instagram, of course. And if you ever just want to come by the house, especially this Sunday, you're more than welcome to.
Okay, thank you so much. We will have information on our website on foxrochester.com as well as 13WHAM as how you can attend, also how you can help this great nonprofit. I'm going to send it back to you guys in studio for now.
It's great work that they're doing and also just amazing architecture there.
Yeah, very true. Chris, thank you. All right, don't go anywhere. When ARC Rochester returns, we're getting some tips on how to become a grill master.
Exciting. We're back after this. 48. Summer is here, and with it comes grilling season. And if you're hosting a cookout, you might have some joining your table with certain dietary restrictions.
Yeah, joining us now with some ideas for vegan and vegetarian options is registered dietitian nutritionist Jen Haefele. Thanks for being here today.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You brought some really unique items with you today that are perfect for those who are more plant-based than meat-based.
Yes, and it's also a good opportunity even for those who might be a little bit more meat-based to try some things and see if maybe there's a swap they might be willing to make. But I don't know if either of you have had this experience. You have someone who's vegan, vegetarian show up to a picnic, and then there's this panic of, what do I do? How do I make this thing that I've never seen before? I definitely know I've seen that in my family. So a few quick tips, and I know this might sound kind of obvious, but check the box. Sometimes there are grilling instructions, and Stephannie, I believe you have the only product that I found, the hot dogs actually, that had specific grilling instructions.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just being able to check the label to see if there are any ideas, being aware of the space on the grill that might be able to be designated like plant-based friendly or just vegan vegetarian, thinking about that. But otherwise, there are usually instructions on the box, so being able to check, oh, I lied to you, here's even a skillet or a grill.
Ooh, there you
I was
go.
mistaken. But there's an oven direction, there's an air fryer direction, so just maybe asking the guests too, like what do you think is the best way to make this? Because sometimes these products, as wonderful as they are prepared in the air fryer, fall through the grill.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's a good point, though.
Yeah, so trying to have a flat top grill if you can, or maybe layering with some tin foil and then placing on top of that grill space, especially if you can't keep a designated like vegan vegetarian spot, just to be considerate of someone who might not like that cross contact.
First, oh, sorry, go ahead.
There's a variety of different ingredients used for these. Like I see beans is like the primary one there, mushroom, for example. So there's a diversity of options that are available.
Yes, lots of different protein options, and some people might have a specific preference. Personally, I like my products when they hold together. So there are ones that are a little bit more vegetable-based. They tend to be a little bit more water-dense, so they'll fall apart a little bit easier, but just, again, being aware of what's the best prep way to make something, and then going from there. But all of these are going to support that protein intake throughout the day and give your guests a different option.
For somebody who is not vegan or vegetarian, but maybe needs to incorporate some more vegetables into their diet, tell us about some of the health benefits that come along with eating smart bacon, plant-based bacon, in comparison to like regular bacon or turkey bacon.
Yeah, well, let's even take a peek at the sodium. So right off the top of my head, it's a little bit lower in sodium than traditional bacon, but you're also going to be getting probably lower calories, lower fat, and or a different source of protein, which sometimes can support micronutrient absorption.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, that is amazing. And I'm just wondering, I know that a lot of people are trying to be mindful about soy, for example, and when it comes to plant-based products, some of them tend to be on that side. Would you say that, like, when it comes to the meats options, that there are more options available that don't have too much soy?
I would definitely say that there are some available. There's not going to be a significant amount just because soy is going to be the thing that allows some of these to hold together. But I don't have a ton demonstrated here today. There are a lot of vegetable options too that can support protein intake separate from something that's pre-packaged. So thinking about, like you had said, mushrooms or artichokes, or even supporting like tomatoes, broccoli, spinach, some of these things that we could add into what we're grilling.
And for the most part, like, is it pretty similar? Like, if I were to eat this smart bacon, would I be like, I kind of feel like I would, it's not fooling anybody here.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. It's not similar.
It's not, is it like a distant relative, or is it like a whole different person, like outside the family altogether?
No, it's like a distant relative.
Okay.
And if you're going in expecting it to taste exactly like a meat-based product, you're setting yourself up for a disappointment because it's not. It's meant to be an analog of that product or a similarity. So I say this with love. It's kind of like when you order something off of Amazon that is slightly off, but it still gets the job done.
Yep.
So it still offers a lot of variety, but no, if you're going in expecting it to be that same exact taste, consistency, flavor, No.
Okay. I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
Right. Would you say maybe the seasonings sort of help add in something to?
Yes. I would say the seasonings help, and especially if you're just looking for a unique taste, you'll have that satisfaction. Like, I would say off of this table, this one is probably one of my faves, and the hot dogs are closest to the consistency of a traditional hot dog.
Okay. All right. Very good. And if you add a little hot sauce, I feel like it masks a lot, right?
Exactly. Or for the non-vegan friends, adding some cheese. Always a good option.
Yes. Awesome. This has been really, really interesting. I appreciate it. I didn't even see this. Oh, this is the grilled chicken. Plant chicken pieces.
Yep.
And it's made from plants. Is it soy?
I would hazard a guess it has some soy in it.
Remarkably chicken-y.
I would say there's a brand called like Gardein, and they have a really nice meat that could be used in spaghetti, anything like that. I know we're talking about grilling, but that's another brand where it's not too off. It's different.
Or you could make a vegan meat sauce if you wanted to do like a vegan vegetarian version of a plate, for instance.
Oh, there you go. All right, good stuff. Jen Hafley, we appreciate it. Hit them with the socials before we go.
Instagram at @artieandjen and artieandjen.com.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And don't go anywhere. We've got so much more to come here on ARC Rochester.
We're back after this. Much more to come this morning on ARC Rochester as we continue into the 9 o'clock hour, including a closer look at a local softball team that took home the title of state champions. Now they're celebrating a huge success by one of their teammates.
Yeah, and later, Wednesday night's Jazz Festival headliner is giving us a preview of his upcoming one-man show.
Yeah, lots to look forward to. Stick around. We're back after this. o'clock on this Monday morning, June 23rd. Thanks for staying with us on ARC Rochester. I'm Abi Fridmann.
And I'm Stephannie Joseph. Meteorologist Mark McLean is back with us once again. We'll have a check of his forecast coming up in just a few moments. But we do first want to get a check of our headlines for today with your ARC Rochester news break.
This morning, a Rochester police officer is recovering after he was injured in the line of duty, while the suspect accused of shooting at police is fighting for his life in the hospital. Investigators say that suspect was also a person of interest in relation to a fatal shooting Sunday morning on Oscar Street. Police say the suspect was spotted later in the day, then took off before firing at an officer, narrowly missing him. Officers returned fire, hitting the unnamed suspect several times. The victim of the homicide on Oscar Street later identified as 30-year-old David Vasquez.
In the aftermath of U.S. strikes on Iran nuclear facilities, Iran's parliament advancing plans to close the Strait of Hormuz, which is expected to cause oil prices to spike. Nearly a fifth of the world's oil supply passes through that strait. Meantime, President Trump has posted about regime change in Iran. Congress is split over the attacks. We will have much more throughout the day on 13 Wham!
A Rochester woman is fighting for her life today after a crash in Ontario County. It happened around 2:30 Sunday afternoon at the intersection of County Road 28 and Emerson Road in Canandaigua. Investigators say that woman, 76-year-old Susan Labigan, failed to stop at a sign and collided with another vehicle. She was taken to the hospital by Mercy Flight. We're told she's in critical condition. The other driver had minor injuries. This investigation is ongoing.
The Monroe County Republican Committee is responding after a local town supervisor candidate was accused of official misconduct. Now, on Friday, the Monroe County DA's office accused Anthony Costanza of official misconduct and use of municipal position for personal or private gain. The DA says the accusations come from his time as Irondequoit's town assessor last year. Costanza is facing off against Democratic Town Board member John Perticone for Irondequoit Town Supervisor. Monroe County Republican Party saying in part, quote, Anthony Costanza only switched parties to Republican in February to run for Irondequoit supervisor against disgraced Democrat Supervisor Andre Evans. He was only able to do this because of a political vacuum that was created when former supervisor Rory Fitzpatrick left the Irondequoit political stage.
Happening tomorrow, don't forget, it's primary day across New York State. Voters will head to the polls to vote on a variety of local races, including Rochester Mayor, Rochester City Council, and Town Supervisor in several towns. According to the Monroe County Board of Elections, more than 4,000 people cast their ballots early during 9 days of early voting. Tomorrow morning, we'll be talking live to some of the candidates vying for mayor of Rochester. Actually, all of them, pardon me. We have more information on polling locations on our website.
And for all these top stories and any updates you just heard Abby say, go to 13wham.com.
All right. We'll get to our very summer-like forecast today and the answer to weather trivia as well.
I vote for air conditioning.
Yeah, me too. That'd be nice, huh?
I would also like to vote for a swimming pool, but
That'd be great.
you can't.
We were close to one.
We were close with the 13 Wham Garden.
We were
Pretty funny.
last week. That's right. We had about yay amount of water in there.
Yeah,
That was not great.
No,
not so. Well, they're fixing it today.
That's good.
It's good. It's good. Hey, weather trivia. Let's talk about it. It's hot out there. It was hot yesterday. It's hot today, and it's going to be hot tomorrow. How many straight days of 90-degree heat do you think Rochester could have as its all-time record? Is it just 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, or 9 straight days of 90-degree heat?
You know, I always
Did you
look
see the
for
answer?
No.
No? Okay.
Okay.
Did you phone a friend?
I'm going to go with B.
B?
That was my original guess.
Okay, lots of B's. Jennifer, Christine, Mary Jane said, and Pamela and Debbie all said D. Bon said C.
Oh,
wow.
What do we have on the Insta?
There's a lot of
Abby's
B's and
got
C's.
some information on Insta.
17% A, 58% B, 25% C.
58% with B.
The Instagrammers agree with us.
Yeah, here it is.
What?
Can you believe that?
No.
That is
Can you believe
wild.
that? I was shocked.
Hold on. Before you show us the date,
Okay.
was this like a really, really long time ago? Because I always feel like all of these record-breaking numbers were.
I mean, it was back in the 70s.
Okay, that's not that long.
So it's not that long.
Okay, all right.
The part that really got me, I was looking at this because we had a 4-day stretch of 90s last June.
Yeah.
So and I was like, wow, that's that sticks out as, being a long time to have that kind of heat around. What's the longest we've ever experienced? And then stumbled on that, and I was like, wow. And then I saw the dates. Check this out. Check this part of this out. The dates that this actually happened at the bottom of the trivia there. 9 straight days of 90-degree heat from August 28th through September 5th.
Yikes.
Can you believe that?
In September.
Oh my God.
That must have been one heck of a dry summer. I did not look to see how dry it was, but to get that kind of heat that time of the year and consistently must have been a pretty dry summer for this area. But,
That's wild.
Yeah, it is. You remember this guy from Friday?
Yes, I do.
He was gonna be
Wyatt.
Wyatt, what a good pup right
Yeah,
there.
little sweetheart.
Yeah, and it's going to be dry paws out there and hot paws. I should have put these up there in orange. Just make sure doggy's got some water when you head out for that walk. By Friday, we'll have some scattered showers and storms around, but Wyatt, you're in good shape today, buddy. You're in good shape. Heat advisory, though, through Tuesday. This is the story for everyone else. It's going to be hot. We're going to need the AC. We're going to need to slow it down again like we did the last couple of days. And you look at this combo, you see those numbers are up around 100. That's where you really, you have to stay well hydrated, get yourself out of that direct sunlight, and if you do have the pool and the air conditioning, definitely find it. But 103 potentially for the heat index Tuesday afternoon. That's really about as warm as it gets in this area. 84 now. Well on our way to 90. That dew point is at 73 degrees. So if you've been to Florida, you've been through this kind of air that we have in place right now. High pressure to the south, and everything has to go around this. It's like a spokes on a bicycle wheel. Everything goes around the edge of the tire. It's the same deal with high pressure. Everything just spins around it, and we'll have to wait for this cold front that's back to our northwest to give us even the slightest chance of a little cool down late this week. So by late Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll see there's a small chance of a shower, pop-up shower there, but that cold front cooling things off a little bit midweek. But 90s today, hazy, hot, humid. That's near record warmth. The record today is 95 from 1888. So that's an old one right there. Hot and humid tomorrow. Not quite as hot Wednesday, and we'll go backwards a little bit more from there into Thursday, into the low 80s, some scattered showers and thunder Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Not a washout. Lots of graduations, lots of weddings, party plans outside this time of the year. Not going to be a washout weekend, but there is that chance.
That's good. That's good. And just going back to something you said about the pups, paws on hot pavement.
Ooh.
Yeah. One of those things that I think sometimes people forget about, but if it hurts your feet to be walking on it,
sure.
It's definitely going to hurt them as
10
well,
a.m.
too.
to 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind for sure.
Save the walk for maybe later on tonight.
For sure.
All right.
Yep.
I don't know. Good stuff.
Do we have our fall countdown on?
I know.
Fall well, listen, countdown to
Or is that-
Halloween for me.
Oh.
Jeez. No. But
We'll get that.
4th of July is only a handful of
4th of
days
July
away.
countdown. That's
Believe
sneaking
it.
right
Yeah,
up,
it's
right?
right around the corner.
Yep.
Oh, there's
There
the
it
countdown.
is.
4th
10
of July
days.
countdown, 10
10
days.
days.
Wow.
Wow.
That's when it really starts flying, the summer.
Yeah.
Yep,
That's true.
cruising.
You think we'll see any more 70-degree days?
It's possible. It's possible, but the deeper you get into July, it's tough to get those temperatures down, especially if it starts drying out.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. I love the 80s. I really do. I walked out the door this morning and thought, this is nice.
Windows down, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, going down the highway.
Yep.
Windows open. That's something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wind blowing through your hair.
Evaporating.
Yeah, exactly.
The sweat on my head.
Yeah.
All right, Mark, thank
Yeah.
you. Hey, much more to come this morning on ARC Rochester. When we come back, we're getting jazzy with the help of Rochester Music Hall of Fame inductee.
And hey, take us with you. You don't want to miss this. You can watch us on the go wherever you are by streaming us live on the 13 Wham YouTube channel or foxrochester.com. We're back after this. day 4 of the Rochester International Jazz Festival. And if you haven't got a show over the weekend, then it's time to clear your schedule.
Yeah, tonight and tomorrow, one Rochester Music Hall of Fame inductee is bringing his talent to the stage for what is actually his first ever homecoming show. We're joined now by Scott Mayo, who was kind enough to come in and visit us this morning, all the way from LA, back home to your old stomping grounds, Henrietta.
Yeah.
We're excited to have you here.
Thank you. It's good to be here. It really is. I'm excited. I can't wait for the show.
Yeah. So tell us about the show.
Well, it's a mix of a lot of different parts of my life. I grew up here, and I've played jazz for a long time, but I've also played a lot of other kinds of music. So you're going to hear all of that on the show.
Very good.
Yep.
So what factored into your decision to come back home? It's been a while, but you're back now.
Well, last year I was inducted into the Music Hall of Fame here, and that was a huge honor. And I think that sort of started people to say, hey, maybe you can come back and do Jazz Fest. So I'm here for the first time to do Jazz Fest, and I'm excited about it. I really am.
And you got in on Thursday, so you've had the opportunity to walk down Jazz Street, check it all out. You said that you actually got to watch a friend over the weekend. How cool is it that you are, bumping into people that you know pretty well, and hey, we're all here at this international festival?
It's fantastic, and the thing that I like about it is not just running into the friends, but to also see how much the festival has grown. It's a huge thing. Like even in LA, but when I was telling my friends I was coming back here to play the Jazz Festival, they're like, wow, that's a great festival. So people really know about this festival, and it's really grown. So it's fantastic. I love it.
Is there anything about your upbringing in the area that you sort of took with you as you went along in your career?
Oh my God, yeah, there's so much. I could spend an hour just telling you guys about it. But growing up here, for me, you had access to so many world-class musicians as a young person. And I don't even think that I really understood how many musicians I had access to, but all of those people sort of poured into my life and helped me, on the journey to become a professional musician.
We've had the opportunity to interview a lot of different musicians with the Jazz Festival. We cover this every year, and, each performer has a little something different that they love, specifically about playing or performing. What is it for you?
I just like being able to communicate with the musicians on stage and with the audience. It's just there's just a freedom that I have to that, and it's just really great.
Now, you've gotten to work with some amazing people. One, tell our audience about that, and I guess, what has it been like for you to just work with some of these amazing professionals?
Well, for me, honestly, coming from here, I get in the presence of these people, and I always have to pinch myself a little bit. Like, really? Am I really talking to Mick Jagger right now? So it's a funny thing. Like, I've worked with Mick Jagger and Earth, Wind & Fire and Paul McCartney and all these people, and every now and then I just really? Really? Is this happening to me? So it's kind of cool.
And, Paul McCartney's probably like, am I really getting to work with Scott Mayo right now? Oh, my gosh, the one and only. No, it is really, really cool. When you are on stage performing, what kind of relationship do you try to build with the audience?
I try to be open. And let them know that this is going to be not just a good show, but it's going to be an experience where you can walk away thinking, wow, that was something really special. So it's not just about just great music, it's about storytelling. And so you have a backdrop of every song and why each song is what it is.
That is amazing. And something really important, I feel like a lot of artists, for example, Beyonce right now, is trying to bring that back with her albums and music. Is there any piece for you specifically that you think is the epitome of that?
Probably for me, there's a song that I wrote that I was inspired when I came home and was inducted into the Hall of Fame last year, called The 5th of May. And I went home, I was so inspired by all the music that I went home and I wrote the song in one day.
Wow.
And just released it, and I called it the 5th of May because that was the day that I was inducted into the Hall of Fame. So if you come to the show, you'll hear that song.
That is so special. Oh my gosh. And, what's on the horizon for you? So we're doing the Jazz Festival, and then what? Are we touring? Are we releasing new albums?
We have a single coming out in probably about a month. That's my next single. And then after that, I just have to go. I'm going back to LA. There's a couple TV shows that I plan, so I'm going to go start finishing those things and stuff like that.
And what sort of advice would you give to someone, a kid at home, who is looking to kind of be just like you in terms of following their passions in music?
I'd say practice. Just honestly, just practice, work hard to be as good as you can. That's the most important thing first, so that when you get the call, you're ready. It's really important to just be good so that when you get the call, you can show up. And beyond that, just be a nice person.
Yeah.
That's
it really
good
matters.
advice. Be a nice person, practice, practice, practice.
Yep.
Not just when it comes to music, but I think, with anything, right?
Anything,
Practice
yep.
makes better.
Absolutely.
Very good. Thank you so much for being
You're welcome.
here today.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate
For
it.
somebody that wants to come to the show, they still can? They can
They
get
still
tickets?
can. Yep.
Very
Tuesday
good.
night, I'm going to be at the Theater Innovation Square. We have 2 shows, 6:30, 8:45. Tickets are available. Please come. It's going to be a great show.
Excellent. We don't doubt it. Thank you for your time.
You're
We
very welcome.
appreciate
Thank you
it.
for having
Don't forget, all ticketing information will go over on foxrochester.com. I think it's on 13WAM as well.
And don't go anywhere. When Arc Rochester returns, we're learning more about a local sports team that wrapped up their season with quite the accomplishment.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it after this. Welcome back. A local softball team has knocked it out of the park, taking home the title of state champs. Now they're celebrating in style.
Yeah, this morning we're joined by Bloomfield High School champs, star catcher Callum McCombs and pitcher Ashlyn Wright, who's heading to West Point soon on a full softball scholarship. Congratulations all around to both of you.
Thank you.
How are we feeling this morning?
We're feeling good. It's great to bring home a title.
Yeah.
A lot that we haven't even really processed yet.
I'm sure. So tell us about how the season unfolded. We'll start from the very beginning and then go all the way to the final game. Was it a struggle at first, or did you guys kind of all mesh right away?
So last year we struggled with falling up short, losing in state finals. So this year we definitely were closer. We worked on what we needed to work on, and it was really great because we are so much of like a family. So doing it together just made it so much more special.
Very good.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. We've really just built off of what we had last year just to get better and tune up the small things that we needed to get where we ended up.
Take us to the moment that you found out that you would be state champions. What was that like?
It was really unreal. I mean, a lot to process in the moment. You can't believe it because we are such a small school and we've been working so hard for this moment. So when it actually happened, it was really shocking.
The final game, was it close or was it right down to the wire?
It was 11-0, but in our minds it was 0-0 the whole time.
Wow. Okay. All right. So what is the key then? The key for having such a solid team, for having great relationships all around, and for coming out successful, coming out on top?
I think just staying together and remembering that we are a family, and continuing to build off of like our end goal, which was to be state champions, really helped us like keep in that mindset the whole season.
Yeah, and everybody knows their role on the team, and that was really important this year, and knowing what you had to do and not overstepping.
Not overstepping. Good.
And I know that like you're still processing, obviously, but has there been any sort of celebration, a team group event to acknowledge this win?
We have a banquet coming up this week, but nothing quite yet.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sure a lot of celebrations in the future. You are off to West Point. Tell us about the scholarship that you received and what your future is going to look like in your mind.
So I'm playing softball at West Point, and I leave this Sunday. So it was really important to me to go into the military because of my family and just bringing it to the little girls and showing them that they can do it. But yeah, just joining the military was always a huge goal of mine.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank
and
you.
for playing softball for West Point, what will that look like?
Just your typical college, just an addition of military training as well.
Wow, okay. Very good.
Was it a little bit of a bittersweet season for the both of you? You know, you're saying goodbye to the seniors, but also, you know, preparing for the next chapter.
Yeah, like we've been together for so long, so when we finally won, I think I hugged her for like 5 minutes, but it's definitely gonna be hard to leave her, but she's gonna do great things.
Yeah, and what's next for you?
Well, I'm going into my senior year next year and just trying to figure out college-wise and sports and what I want to do. So
Very good. And what is your message to, let's say, you know, somebody watching at home who is getting ready to join their softball team? Let's say, you know, maybe your softball team, they haven't tried out yet. What's your message to them?
I think just staying positive and knowing that like you're gonna get better no matter what, and like growing a chemistry with your teammates is probably the most important part.
And what's something that you would have said to your younger self, maybe on the first day of tryouts, if you could talk to that person after a win like this?
Yeah, you're definitely gonna fail, but the sky's not the limit.
That's good advice. How about you?
Probably similar thing, like it's a sport of failure, so you're gonna not do well and then you'll do well other times, so just staying positive.
Just depends on the day, right? Guys, I want to thank you both so much for coming in today. And again, congratulations on the state champ title. Really exciting stuff. And best of luck to you two as well, and to you as you get ready to enter your senior year. Anything else you think, you know, you want people to know about this really amazing accomplishment for the two of you?
I think just being along for the ride, and like we had this, it's actually kind of funny, we had like a superstition and we kept like the same dinners every single time. We would do Olive Garden, Chipotle, Chinese for every game, and then we would take oranges. We would eat an orange before every game. And
Whoa.
Yeah.
And you think it made all the difference?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just keeping in the same routine was important to us.
That is amazing. Really good. Maybe we need to start doing that here before every show. We have successful shows.
Works for me.
Yeah, right? Thank you guys both so much for
Yes.
being here today.
Thanks
We
for having
appreciate it. And looking forward to following the team next year as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Time right now is 9:25. Much more to come this morning on ARC Rochester.
We're back after this. 9:27 on this Monday morning. Thanks so much for staying with us here on ARC Rochester. It's time to talk nutrition, in particular, the pizza diet.
Yeah, our friend, tall trainer Jeremy Biernat joins us now to talk about it. And Jeremy, we were laughing earlier about the pizza diet, and we were saying it's probably not what we're thinking it actually is.
It probably isn't, maybe, but I think this is a great way to show some very important nutrition concepts.
All right. Let's get into it.
So here we go. I have this pizza. Obviously, it's not a fully real pizza because I'm picking it up like this. But so look at this pizza. It's got some veggies here. It's got some meat on it. And so we say, look at this pizza here. How much, assuming that there's at least trace amounts of most vitamins and minerals we need, how much pizza would we need to eat to get all the required amounts of vitamins and minerals that our body needs?
Oh my gosh.
One slice?
What?
Know, right?
I feel like a lot.
Make a random guess.
I don't know, because
it's hard. It's a hard spot to be. I don't want to be off too far.
Yeah, well, I feel like more than one slice, but maybe not the entire thing. Maybe like three, like half.
It would take 3.5 of these.
The entire thing?
The whole thing.
Wow.
3.5 times over.
And so when you say vitamins and minerals, like what specific, like calcium?
Yeah. All the minerals, all the vitamins that we keep track of, all the nutrition label stuff, to actually get to 100%.
Wow.
On those would take 3.5 pizzas, which is 6,533 calories worth of pizza. We were like, ooh, that's rough. So for most of us, eating about 3,000 calories a day would cause weight gain.
Yeah.
But if you're eating a pizza-like food quality, you'd eat 3,000 calories and you'd still be malnourished. You know, because you wouldn't have those percentages at that level yet.
Wow.
You'd have enough calories, but you wouldn't have enough nutrition. So when you talk about this is, we're talking about nutrition, but nutrition requires nutrients.
Yeah.
You know, it's part of the word. It's part of the word, nutrition.
Yeah.
And so trying to get that nutrition level up without the calories so much is really the big challenge. If you look at, if you take something like broccoli or something, it's about 600 calories. Of broccoli will get you those same kind of scores.
That's a lot of broccoli, right?
6,600, yeah, it is a lot of broccoli. I think it's actually it's like 25 cups of broccoli.
Oh my gosh.
Which I thought was ridiculous until one of my friends said, there's about 5 cups in a bag of frozen broccoli. And so I was like, I did it one day. And I survived.
You ate all of that broccoli?
I actually did 30 cups of broccoli for the
30
day.
cups.
My family still likes me,
Oh my
Did you blend it in a smoothie?
But I ate 2 bags for breakfast, 2 bags for lunch, 2 bags for dinner, and some chicken wings that day. So it's physically possible.
Okay.
It's physically possible to do, but I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend all pizza, and I wouldn't recommend all broccoli. So looking at some of this stuff, Dr. Joel Fuhrman, he wrote the book Eat to Live and Eat for Health. And his recommendations were really, really good on vegetables. He says a pound of cooked and a pound of raw. So you always got to hear that strive for 5 and things like that. But for most times, people are eating 2 green beans. And you're like, this is not enough vegetable.
Right.
You're not going to get enough nutrition from that. And so a pound of cooked vegetable, a pound of raw vegetable, which is a lot for some people, what? But if you put that in, we have a nutrition program that we use. And I entered that in, a pound of cooked, a pound of raw. And then I was like, well, if this is a good recommendation, I should be able to have a pound of junk food. Or not a pound of junk, but I should fill up the calories with junk food. So I put in a pound of pizza.
Okay.
Just for curiosity's sake. What's a pound of pizza going with? I had a pound of romaine, a pound of broccoli, and a pound of pizza. And it actually didn't look bad on nutrition.
Wow.
All right, so the nutrition came from the romaine and the broccoli. There's about 208 calories of romaine and broccoli.
Okay.
But basically all the nutrition was coming from that, nearly.
Yeah.
But then the pizza was about 11,000 or 1,100 calories, 1,100 and something calories of pizza. So most of it was that, and the whole day was about 1,300 calories, about 74 grams of protein. It actually wasn't bad. And so one of the things that this lesson is really good for is to remind you that you don't have to be perfect with nutrition, because obviously you could eat a pound of pizza, and as long as you had the pound of broccoli and a pound of romaine, you actually would be better off than most people out there.
Wow.
You'd actually have better nutrition than 98% of the population, because you had enough of the good in. So I think a lot of times we try to spend so much time avoiding the bad foods, but we're not spending enough time trying to get the good foods in. If we turn our mind onto those a little bit more, we'll actually be more full. Joel Fuhrman calls it toxic hunger, when you have this your nutrient deficiencies, but you have plenty of calories coming in. And so there's this hunger that keeps you, because our body goes, I need the calcium, I need this, I need that. I don't care if your pants fit, I need this. You know, and so the hunger levels rise. So if we start satisfying the nutrition our body needs, we may find that our hunger levels actually drop down a little bit more. And we can still have some of our calories coming from what can be considered sometimes a junk food.
So,
even though it's delicious.
Yeah, it looks really good. Broccoli, lettuce, what are some other vegetables or fruits that are particularly excellent that we should be thinking about?
Yeah, Joel Fuhrman has a book that covers a lot of this, but the leaves are top of the list.
Okay.
Anything leaf-like,
Right.
Has the most nutrition per calorie. All right, and then it starts going into some of those things. The squashes, other kind of things can be really good. Cucumbers, all the standard veggies in there. First fruits that show up as far as nutrition are the berries.
Okay.
The berries have a lot more nutrition per calorie in there, and then you just start tumbling down. It's less and less. So you go like, if you're really trying to be healthy, that's why like having a salad is like kind of a healthy thing to do. But it's a big salad.
Yep.
Like it needs to be a fairly large salad, because if you're talking about a pound of cooked and a pound of raw vegetables in a day, you got to have a good chunk at each meal in order to make it work.
Tall trainer Jeremy Burnett, thank you for your time today.
Yeah,
we
you're
appreciate
welcome.
it. The pizza diet, talltrainer.com if you'd like to learn more.
Stick around, we've got so much more to come here on ARC Rochester, including when we come back, we're looking ahead to the headlining musician performing this Wednesday at the Rochester International Jazz Festival.
We're back after this. This Wednesday, the Rochester International Jazz Festival is bringing Latin Grammy Award winner Jesus Molina to headline the Wegmans stage at Purcell 5.
Yeah, he's a world-class pianist, vocalist, and one-man show, and our Dan Schrack got a chance to chat with him by Zoom to get a preview. Take a look.
I want to, if we can, talk about the Rochester International Jazz Festival.
Okay.
This, I believe, is your first time, correct?
Very first time, yes.
What are you looking forward to most about coming to the great state of New York and to the beautiful Flower City, Rochester, to take part in the Rochester International Jazz Festival?
Well, to me, definitely it's a complete honor being invited to such an incredible festival. New York people, energetic people, beautiful people. So a lot of cultures, a lot of people there. I just want to showcase the music that I have. And it's going to be a complete party. Basically, what we're going to do is this is a journey. We're traveling in all countries with the music I'm bringing, especially my roots, South American roots. But of course, we have some Middle Eastern, we have some Indian flavor, we have so much music, and of course, combined to jazz fusion, which is the root of everything. So
I want to, if we can, talk about a particular word, and I hope I'm saying it right. Salah, correct?
yes, Selah.
Selah. It's rich with spiritual and cultural layers. And it's also, I believe, the name of your new album.
Exactly.
Talk to us about the music that people will hear on Salah and what it means to you when you get up there and you get to perform for crowds of what are guaranteed to be thousands of people in Rochester, to see you on that stage. What does that feel like?
Well, Selah to me, it's a love letter to music. Every song that I wrote for this album, it means something. It means a stage in my life, a period in my life. So then when I started putting this album together, of course, like the melodies, because the problem is when you don't have lyrics to express what you want to express, then it gotta be that melodies that express that sentimentals and all of the feelings that you have in that moment. Then when I decided to do Selah, I said, this is a love letter to music. I'm so grateful to do music. I'm so happy to being able to play music every single day, and every song that I'm presenting has a joy on it, but at the same time has some time of reflection. And the messages I give, of course, with all of this music is the most important part. So that's what we're bringing. But the most important thing is that's going to be a party. That's it.
Oh, it's going to be a party, and I love how the audience is taken aback by you, and you take them on that ride. You take them on that journey. It's almost like a game of chess where you do this and they give you this, and you do this and they give you that. Talk to me about that energy. I have to imagine that feeds you while you're on stage performing. And then it also feeds you in the recording studio, because you have to put yourself into that same mindset that you're performing for an audience of thousands when it could just be you and, an audio technician.
Exactly. No, definitely it's a feedback always. Like I'm giving some melody, some message to the audience. And of course, interacting with the audience is the most important thing. There's going to be a lot of things where they're going to participate a lot, when they're going to sing back to me some melodies that I'm going to be presenting to them. At the same time, some other personal songs, like I have a song that is really special for me that is called Melody, that it's for my daughter, that her name is Melody. So personal things, of course, we have some covers from South America, some classic music. I sing some classics in Spanish, some original music too that I'm bringing, that I bring to my Latin community. And of course, like I've been bringing all of this music all over the world, like India, Indonesia, Japan, Singapore, and some other countries too that we've been on tour. So it's always a great pleasure spreading different cultures with the music, because by the end of the day, no borders at all when it comes to music.
I am so glad you brought up the song Melody, because I've got that question right here that I need to talk to you. I want to know what was going through not just your mind, but what was going through your heart as you were writing that song.
Well, definitely when I was writing this song, I was just focused on the first day I saw my daughter when she came to the world. When I saw her for the first time, her first cry, like I wanted to express on a melody, like that's her name. It's like how that moment changed completely my life when I saw her for the first time. It was like that type of love that you never feel until you get to it. And then, like, that song is basically my heart on a melody because she's my most beautiful melody. And of course, I needed to have a song that matches that feeling. So that's how it came.
That's lovely. Has having a daughter, having a child, having that love that you've never experienced before, has that changed your approach to music and how you write music now and how you imagine yourself writing music in the future?
Yes, yes, that changed completely the vision of every single song, what I want to express and what I want the world to perceive from my music, because that's the main problem. It's like now I am thinking of I want to write songs that every dad is proud to show that to their daughter or to their son in general, because it's like we're so worried these days with all of these messages going on. Like, oh my God, please, honey, cover your ears. I don't want you to hear those type of things. So definitely, that's my approach now to write music, positive messages, because the world right now needs that a lot.
You have said everything that comes out of me that can't be explained is from God.
It is 100%.
Explain that to me.
Well, everything I do, everything I have in my life is because of God. Every single melody that comes to my life definitely comes from Him. I am just a tool. I am a simple tool, and I am so privileged to be that tool that because God can choose whoever He wants, but by the end of the day, He wants to choose me, and I just gotta be obedient and start playing whatever comes to my mind. Of course, organize it and put it together. That's what I should do. But we're just, by the end of the day, a simple tool that God used.
It sounds like that is a great deal of responsibility, no?
It is a big responsibility. Yeah.
So how do you make sure that you on a daily basis do you remind yourself of this on a daily basis to make sure you
Or,
stay on track, you stay the course, you
of
steer the
course,
ship?
especially when you see all the feedback from the people, everybody commenting, oh my God, that's so beautiful, that's amazing, oh my God, that's great. All of this is not fuel for my ego. All of this is fuel to keep the hard work with this huge responsibility I have. Because if you do something good, then the next one gotta be better than that one. And that's when the responsibility comes, because when human beings we just get stuck in the comfort zone where we start forgetting, okay, now everybody is telling that it's great, so I can relax now. No, that's the time that you gotta put the hard work even harder and harder and harder in order to keep growing that. So
Well, listen, I think you're very fortunate to have just had a daughter, but I really think she's very fortunate to have you as a father who seems like you've got it together. I have a feeling you're going to be a good leader for her as a dad. So congratulations for that. And we cannot wait to have you at the Rochester International Jazz Festival. Once again, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to speak with us this morning. And for anybody out there at home who wants to learn more, we will post all that you need to know, including the full lineup, in the jazz section on foxrochester.com. Don't go anywhere. We're back after this.
Teen mental health is one of the most important and most misunderstood issues facing families today. And this morning, we wanted to learn how to listen better, connect deeper, and support them in ways that actually work.
Yeah, joining us now is teen mental health advocate Tanvi Arakapudi to tell us more. Tanvi, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me here today.
We were just talking, it's one of the most misunderstood things that families are facing. Tell us what exactly that means.
Definitely. So I feel like just that idea of mental health has been really misunderstood, especially with teen nowadays. Of course, we have so many more factors that are really creating differences between mental health, how it was now and years ago. But I would say some of the biggest challenges around mental health that we're facing is we have a gap between what adults think and what teens think. And this gap is bridged between the idea of knowing that we're not alone, but by opening up and sharing our emotions. And recently I've learned that over 50% of lifetime mental illness cases start at age 14, and that 1 in 5 youth have a diagnosable mental health condition. And as a 16-year-old myself, I can say that I have felt overwhelmed, stressed, anxious, and all these different emotions at times. But by really sharing my emotions and sharing my thoughts on important topics, I hope to have adults listening in so they can understand what youth are thinking, but also youth who can have those conversations so we can create a space where everyone connects with each other and the start of this world where we can talk about mental health more openly.
As a teen, it's very hard to talk about those big feelings that you may be having. So how do you recommend approaching this conversation, not only from the teen standpoint, but from the parent standpoint?
Definitely, that's a really good question. So I would say like the biggest, hardest part, maybe parents and caregivers can agree with this, is as youth, when we're feeling stressed, all these emotions, we say that we're fine. And the biggest reason we say that is because we feel like we don't want to be a burden on those in our lives. We're feeling all these emotions inside, and we don't have the words to label them or the acknowledgement of the stigma to even acknowledge them within ourselves and share them. Like when I go through those challenges, it's hard for me to be like, I'm not fine. And the biggest advice that I would give youth out there or even adults who want to help other teens in their life is not to just like give help in a way that you're giving solutions to them. But I would say all you have to do is listen. Sit down, ask them how they're doing, and just be there to listen. That can honestly change lives. By following that, you can create a space where that youth feels comfortable to open up.
Tanvi, we've touched on this in previous segments with you, but what are some of the biggest contributing factors that relate back to this crisis that so many teenagers are facing?
Definitely. So I would say I actually recently went on a tour at Grays Harbor County in Washington State, where I went to over 5,000 different students and shared different messages with them. So I talked about burnout, talked about procrastination, the pressure, and the biggest thing that I've learned through that experience is that those 3 factors, what I like to call the triple trap, have been contributing to mental health in the hardest ways of most. Wow. Let's talk about pressure. Like I feel like as youth, we have pressure to do more, to have better grades, to be the perfect student, to be the perfect friend. It's overwhelming, but the best thing that you can do is take a break. I hope all of us have at least 30 seconds to just close our eyes, not do anything, and take a deep breath in and out. That can really help when you feel all those emotions and to at least help with understanding those contributing factors to mental health and knowing there's one thing that everyone can do in their room, which is taking a pause.
Very good. Tanvi Arakapudi, we appreciate your time. We have just under a minute left, so hit everybody with the social media and the website if they want to check out more of your work, if they want to buy the game, if they want to see some of the other videos that you've posted.
Definitely. So you can check out my website, www.tanvi.us, my Instagram at tanvis.inspiration, also YouTube, Uplifting Today, and be sure to check out the Nexus Mental Health Hub for Schools website. It's nexusforschools.com. We have peer stories, anonymous blogs, strategies, all made by entirely youth, vetted for youth. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Thank you. So impressive. We appreciate it. Don't go anywhere. When we come back on ARC Rochester, our final thoughts.
We're back on the other side of the break.
time for our final thoughts of the morning on Arc Rochester. Mr. Lopez is joining us.
Good morning, guys. Good morning.
Yeah, that was a really
It was
cool
gigantic.
spot.
30,000 square feet.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Every room was cool. The only thing is, we didn't go upstairs. No air conditioning. It was like, they showed me up there, and I was like, why is it getting more humid as we start making our way down? But
Yeah, jeez. For those who weren't there, just give us a quick recap of what you were doing.
Oh, okay, yeah. Rochester Academy of Medicine, 125 years in the business, and what they do is they take medical professionals and bring them together and really like further their education. Like they, you get your PhD and you go through all that schooling, but medicine's always changing. So
Yeah. That's
They're there
great.
to-
And we're so lucky. We have so many amazing specialists in our area as well, too.
For sure.
Very good. All right.
It's hot.
It's hot.
Yes.
We just stepped outside. It's gross.
I was outside for 5 minutes, and that was just enough.
It made in here feel cooler.
It did. Yeah.
It's amazing.
The plants were begging for water outside.
Oh, I'm
begging.
sure. Yeah.
But the garden's going in. Good news.
Yes, you
Garden's
saw
going
them
in.
with the little,
They're
is
out
it a
there.
bobcat?
I don't know what that. That machine actually does have a name.
Okay.
It starts with a J. He told me last week, and I forgot the name of it. But
Okay. Well, we'll look forward to
Yeah.
From the Ground Up this Thursday, yes?
yeah, Thursday at 9:30.
All right, good deal. That does it for us this morning on Arc Rochester. Wake up with us again tomorrow morning, 4:57 on 13 WHAM ABC.
We've got much more live local news coming up later with me and John Bonagurio. 13 WHAM News at midday. See you then.